everyone. Welcome back to the Read Report. I'm your host, Nicole Ryan, and it all starts tomorrow. Do not miss out because we're going to be covering each and every moment with some recaps. We're going to be doing all the twists, turns, and theatrical moments in the courtroom than ever before. I think we're going to be in for a lot of surprises. We also know that Hank Brennan, the prosecutor on this case, the special prosecutor, they had to tap in to get to retry Karen Reed here. He is a former defense attorney himself, so he is not going to just be la-di-da-di-da-di-da. He's going to be doing a lot of objecting, I think. And whether or not he'll do that during opening statements, generally, that's kind of taboo. I think they say that most people don't object during opening statements unless it's really bad, like Lori Vallow. If you're following that trial at all, you know that she actually just got objected to during, like, pretty much all the time, like anytime she opened her mouth because she was representing herself, which is, again, kind of like a novel, crazy idea. But anyways, back to the Karen Reed case. Trial number 2 starts tomorrow. I am so excited. And here's what we know. We know that prosecutor Hank Brennan is going to be actually using Karen Reed's own statements against her as part of his opening statement tomorrow. We also know that Alan Jackson and Karen Reed's defense team, they said that they're preparing to show the jury one singular picture during the opening statements. And that singular picture, you guessed it, is John O'Keefe's injuries to his arms. So basically, we know that they're going to argue that there was some sort of third-party culprit responsible or something else actually happened, and the injuries that John O'Keefe sustained were not actually caused by their client, Karen Reed. Now, what else will we learn during the trial? Well, there's been a lot of chatter about maybe some surprises regarding the witness, Kerry Roberts. We don't exactly know yet what that means, but it seems like we might be in for some surprises regarding her and possibly some correspondence, like emails or something. That's still developing, and again, I'm not 1000% sure of what we're going to get there, but we will be in for some surprises specifically related to Kerry Roberts. You bet we're going to be rehashing a lot of the Canton Police Department and Massachusetts State Police handling of the investigation. We're going to be, again, looking at potentially investigating or accusing third-party culprits who were allegedly responsible for John O'Keefe's death, not Karen Reed, that's what they said. But Judge Bev has said you can't accuse Colin Albert. You can accuse Brian Albert and you can accuse Brian Higgins, but this particular trial, the defense won't be allowed to flat out accuse Colin Albert. So that's going to be interesting. And again, Hank Brennan, he wants Karen Reed's blood. This prosecutor, he is so hellbent, and you guys will see it if you haven't been watching a lot of the pretrial motions and the pretrial hearings. You can just tell that this is going to be spicy. This is going to be really, really spicy. I'm really excited, and it's going to be really dramatic, but it's going to be spicy because the defense and the prosecution are going to go toe-to-toe here. Nobody is backing down. Nobody is taking no for an answer. They're going to keep fighting for their cause. So it's going to be very interesting, and I don't know if I already mentioned this, but Hank Brennan is a former defense attorney himself. He defended the likes of Whitey Bulger, your boy, your Boston-based boy. And so he's kind of used to poking holes and things, and he has that kind of defense mindset, which I think we'll see a lot in this trial. I think we'll see someone who's much more aggressive than Adam Lally, who is kind of demure, and he did have a methodical way about him. Like, if you do watch from the last trial, if you watch some of Adam Lally's cross-examinations, or what do you call it when you go back? It's called redirect. So we will see how Hank Brennan handles redirect versus how Adam Lally handled redirect in the first trial. Adam Lally, again, his style is much more passive. It's much more methodical. Let's just let the evidence speak for itself. That's kind of how he portrayed himself and managed and handled the case last trial. Whether that was effective or not, but this next prosecutor here, special prosecutor Hank Brennan, he is going to have a much different style. Again, if you haven't been tuning in, this guy is thirsty. This guy wants to hang Karen Reed out to dry, okay? It's so obvious. And obviously, as a prosecutor, you want to believe what you're doing is right? But just how angry and passionate he is about convicting Karen Reed is just, it's kind of mind-blowing, honestly, sometimes. It's a little bit wild. But anyway, so yeah, Prosecutor Hank Brennan is going to be going toe-to-toe with Karen Reed's defense team, specifically Alan Jackson. He's kind of like the shark, the alpha guy on that side of the table. So we know that there have been some spicy exchanges already in some of the pretrial hearings, and there will be more. Mark my words, there will be a lot more. If I think about how I was reacting to last trial and the opening statements there, literally, I was gasping for air when I heard about what Michael Proctor was doing, going through Karen Reed's phone. I was literally gasping for air. Like, that was the first time that I was hearing that part of the case. In David Yannetti's opening statements last time, he said that Michael Proctor was going through Karen Reed's phone bragging about looking for nudes, which, in fact, did come out during the trial, that he was doing that. We know Michael Proctor's gone now. They say they're not going to be bringing him to testify. He's disgraced at this point. He's been fired. So how are they going to handle the investigation? I think that's one of the big things that people are kind of holding their breath for when it comes to the prosecution side. They're like, how are they going to get away? Okay? Like, how are they going to be able to say with a straight face, yeah, this investigation was pretty bad, but you got to convict Karen Reed. Like, again, the prosecution has the burden of proof. The defense only has to poke holes. The defense does not have to prove their own theory of events. The prosecution has to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. We know this now. We know this, okay? And yet, Prosecutor Hank Brennan is so hell-bent on convicting Karen Reed that I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. Again, we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if there's new evidence, there's more that comes out in this trial that potentially didn't happen in the last trial. But things are going to be interesting. I think this time more so than ever before. And I know that if you stick along for the ride, you'll be grateful. We'll be covering some recaps. We will be going over some of the spiciest testimonies, the biggest mic drop moments, and I cannot wait to get back into the ring for Karen Reed trial number 2. What are your guys' predictions? What do you think the outcome of the case will be? What do you think we can expect from opening statements? Drop some thoughts in the comments. Again, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, whatever you got. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a great night.